Hello everyone, I am Vivek Kumar Sharma. Welcome you all on Engineering Maths by Vivek. So this is the second video of the differential equation. In the first video I have tried to cover the basics of differential equation, in which I told you that how we can segregate the ordinary differential equation and the partial differential equation, and also I tried to cover the order and the degree of the differential equation. And if you have not watched that video, I request to please go through the video so that you can have the better understanding of the differential equation. And if you are new to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel so that you can get the latest videos or latest notification timely. So in this video we are going to cover, or we are going to move further about the solution of the differential equation, or precisely say solution of partial differential equations. And in the partial differential equations also we are interested in the solution of first order partial differential equations. Okay, so there is a equation which can be written in the form of, this is the equation of partial differential equation which is written in the form of fxyz a comma b, where a and b are arbitrary constants equals to 0. Then what will be the solution of this differential equation? If we are able to solve the differential equation and in the final solution we have two arbitrary constants like a and b, then the solution will going to be complete integral. Will going to be complete integral. And if in the CI or complete integral we are assigning certain fixed values to the arbitrary constant, then the solution so obtained is called the particular integral. Why particular integral? Because we are assigning particular values to the arbitrary constants. And third, and if we are able to have some relationship between the arbitrary constant, and if we put the relationship in the equation itself, then the solution so obtained is called the general solution. I hope this is clear to you, and it will be more clear if you will solve some examples, or definitely I am going to take some examples so that you can understand the things in the better manner. So let's start the next topic, which is going to be the solution of a first order partial differential equation. So if we talk about the solution of the partial differential equation, it can be done in two ways. First, it is a direct method, means we can directly integrate the equation to get the solution, or we have to adopt some procedure to reach to the solution. So first of all we are going to cover direct integration. So I have a question for you which we are going to solve. The question goes like this. So this is the question which is given and we have to get the solution. So before going to the solution, I just want to have 2 to 3 formulas of the basic integral so that you are not confused. That is the integration of sin x will be these are the basic formula. And the integration of x power n or y power n will be x power n plus 1 upon n plus 1, and we have some integration constants also which we are not taking into consideration. Now we are going to solve it. So we can see that del 3z means we have to actually integrate this equation 3 times, and out of 3 times we are going to integrate first for 2 times for x with respect to x, and at the last attempt we are going to integrate with respect to y. Okay. When we are integrating with respect to x, we are taking actually y as fixed or constant. The integration of x will be x square upon 2, and that 2 will be means 18 divided by we will get 9. And the integration of sin x, as I told you, it will be minus cos x. And whatever in the coefficient of whatever is the coefficient of variable, and in the integration it comes in the denominator. So that's why I have divided the equation or the term by 2, because the coefficient of x is here 2 and we are integrating with respect to x only. And on the right hand side, if you are integrating with respect to x, then there must be a function which is like constant, and here we have taken y as constant. So this will be the answer. Now again integrating. Now integrating with respect to x, so the integration of cos will be sine. So 2 will be making 2 into 2 4. Now we are integrating with respect to x. So I hope this is clear. Now finally we have to integrate with respect to y. Okay, so when we integrate del z upon del y with respect to y, we will get simply z. Now integration of sine is minus cos x, so it will be actually plus 1 upon 4 cos 2x minus y, and the coefficient of y is minus 1, so it is going to be in the denominator, and again this term will be negative. Now comes to the right hand side, we have so this is the actually final solution. Okay, so we are going to have some arrangement like And if you put these values in the above equation, z equals to, because we want x equals to, like in the normal equation it will be z equals to, because here the depending variable is z, so z will be equals to 1 upon 4 cos 2x minus y minus x cube. So this is the final solution of the given differential equation. I hope this is understood to you, and if you faced any challenge or doubt you can comment me. So we are moving to the next method, in which we have to make some arrangement to get the solution. The equations which are not directly solvable by the method of integration, then we have to make some arrangement, and what will be the arrangement that we are going to see just now. So generally, a linear differential equation of first order, a linear partial differential equation of first order is commonly known as the Lagrange's equation, and the standard form of writing the linear equation, or we can say Lagrange's equation, is P times P plus Q times Q equals to R, where small p represent del z over del x and small q represent del z over del y, and where capital P, Q are the functions of x, y and z. I hope this is clear, and this is the very basic of the Lagrange's equation, in which we can see that how a linear equation is represented, and this representation is generally known as the Lagrange's equation. Now we are going to have some questions by which we will see that how we can solve the Lagrange's equation. Okay. So there are certain steps which you must follow to get the solution, and the first step is we have to make the auxiliary equations. So first of all, we have to form the auxiliary equation, which is in the form of dx upon p plus dy upon q equals to dz upon r, where p is the means capital P, q capital Q, and r is capital R, which are the functions of x, y and z, and they are equal to, definitely going to be equal to some constant, and let this constant be k. So second, And in the second step, we have to solve the auxiliary equation, which can be done by two ways. First, following the method of means direct method, or second method of multipliers. So direct method means we can see there are certain terms which can be separated easily, that is x comes to x side, they can be taken to one side, and the terms of y can be taken to another side, so that we can easily integrate. But if we are unable to do so, then we have to use the method of multipliers to reduce the auxiliary equation, to have some solution which can be easily integrable. Okay, so now we are going to have some examples so that you can get the more clear picture actually. And the first question is like this. I have a question written for you. So first of all, we have to check whether it is a Lagrange's equation or not. Okay. So if I take the LCM, so this equation, the first equation, can be written as I have written in the second equation, after taking the LCM only. Now we have to compare this equation with the Lagrange's equation, which is the standard form of writing the linear differential equation, or we can say linear partial differential equation. So after comparing, we will be able to get the values of capital P, capital Q and capital R. That is, P is going to be, Q is going to be, and R is going to be y square x. Hope this is clear. Now we have to form the auxiliary equation and then solve the equations. So dx upon P now this is the auxiliary equation so formed. Now what we have to do, we have to solve this auxiliary equation, or we can say we have to find two arbitrary constants, and in which the arbitrary constants are present. As I told you, it will going to be the complete integral actually. So if I take the first two term of the equation number 3, so what we will get? So we can cancel z. This will be the reducible form. And now further, now this is the final form of the auxiliary equation, in which we have taken the first two terms. Now we have to integrate it actually. X cube minus y cube, and it will be, we'll take a. We'll take x cube minus y cube equals to a. How we have taken a? It is actually an arbitrary constant. As I told you, there is no specific reason then why I have taken a or b. Simply I have taken a because it is an arbitrary constant. We can take any constant. So x cube, the integration of x square will be x cube over 3 minus y cube over 3, and if I take the LCM as 3, then after multiplying with the 0, it is going to be 0. So I have taken x cube minus y cube equals to a. I hope this is clear. And if I take the first and the third term, So I'm going to take the first and the third term. Why first and the second? Why not second and third? Because if I take the second and the third term, I'm not able to separate the variables here. Means we are not able to separate the variable. That's why I have taken the first and the third term. So this is the first and the third term. Now what we can do? We can cancel out y square. What will be left with? We are left with x dx minus z dz equals to 0, and we are going to integrate it. And I have taken another constant x square minus z square equals to b. And now, as I told you in the very first of the video, that the solution will be going in the form of f of ab equals to 0. And a is so this is the required solution or the final solution of the given differential equation. Hope this is clear to you, that how we got the solution of the given differential equation. And it was actually solved by direct method. We need not multiply any multipliers to separate the variables. Now we are going to have an example in which we are going to use the method of multipliers actually. So there is another example which I have taken for you, and the example goes like this. This is the given equation and we have to solve this equation. So again we are going to compare with the standard form so that we can get the value of P, capital Q and capital R. So capital P will be So I hope this is clear how we got the values of capital P, capital Q and capital R. Now we are going to form the auxiliary equation. Auxiliary equation sometimes can be written in, because I am very lazy, I can write it down as AE, means simply auxiliary equation. Now, in the previous question, all the variables are in the form of multiplication, and we did the solution by the direct method. We are actually not supposed to multiply anything in the previous question because it was very easy to solve. But whenever you get the variables in the form of plus minus in the denominator side of the auxiliary equation, it is going to be very headache for you. So that's why we have to multiply this equation by such a number so that we can have the 0 in the denominator, so that it can be easily integrable. Okay, so we have to do some brain work here. So, and one more thing you have to remember, that you can multiply dx upon mz minus ny, or we can multiply first term by x only, we can divide the first term by x only. That is, we cannot multiply or divide first term by y or z. In a similar manner, we can divide or multiply the second term by y only, then in the similar manner third term by z only. Okay, whether we can multiply, divide it by 1 upon z, whatever be the operation we want to do, then the operation should be of the same variable actually. Okay, so now We are going to multiply and divide the equation number 2 by x and add the numerator and denominator. So what will be the impact? If we add the three terms by multiplying separately with x, y and z, so the denominator side will going to be, we are multiplying this by x and x. Okay, so you can easily see that denominator is actually 0. mxz. So we are left with so now we can easily integrate this equation. Equals to 0, then we have chosen arbitrary constant a. Hope this is clear. And now, as I told you that we have to take actually two arbitrary constants. So that means we have to solve the auxiliary equation one more time in the different manner. So again, our auxiliary equation was I have only the question, no solution actually, and I have the final answer only. Okay. So now, so we have to solve this auxiliary equation in the different manner. In the first manner, we have multiplied the equation by x, y, and z. We got the denominator 0, and in this step we have to choose another multipliers. Okay. So if I closely look at the denominator, I can take the multipliers as L, M, and N. I told you that we cannot multiply this first term by any number or by any variable apart from x, but we can take any constant number for multiplication. There will be no restriction upon it. Okay, so I think this is clear, because L, M, and N are there. L, M, N are constants, not actually variables. So that's why we are free to multiply the three terms by constants. But if I ask you to multiply this first term by y, then you must stop, because you are not allowed to do so. So using multipliers L, M, N, and adding the denominator and numerator. Whatever be the operation you are going to do in the denominator, same operation will be definitely going to do in the numerator side, because then only the equation will be balanced. And if you closely look at the denominator, it is actually vanished. It has become 0. So now this is very easy for us to integrate this equation to get the final solution actually. Okay, now we are going to integrate it. This is the value of the constant b. Now the final solution is written in the form of f of a b equals to 0. So a was x square and b was so hope you got that how to solve the partial differential equation of the first order by using the Lagrange's method also and by the method of direct integration also. If you faced any challenge or doubt, you can comment me, and please do subscribe to my channel, and please like the video if you have learnt anything which is helpful for you. Okay, so see you in the next video. Till then, you keep watching or you keep solving the questions from your book or from the any source which you are like to do. So see you in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye.